I've been talking about.
See, when there was a spot, I might have one.
I know, but that's your deal.
Why? At this point, everybody's a deal.
Okay.
5 months ago, I was talking to her about setting up something.
It's not.
Who's camera is it?
Al's.
It's
It's Al's. It's Al's.
Shoot, an auto man.
big plan.
There we go.
No, go ahead. My brain got 10 things.
See, we young and always snitch on ourselves. That's what but you just did. You
No, I think
wanted to
I have this one too. I have this one, but it's blue. Cause my grandma gave me that question.
I like to use a Polaroid or instant print.
Oh, I have a Polaroid, so I have two of those. I have like the older one and the little mini one thing. Yeah, the instant.
It's
right
not
out.
stacked. I got my phone. I'm a photographer. That's smart. That's smart.
What?
I got an iPhone. I'm a photographer.
Yeah.
I think you should have got an Android, Samsung, Toshiba. And it's really best if you shoot it this way.
Get all the way out. Close to the car. You're no longer part of the adult conversation.
See, I probably get kicked out of a room. You know how many times I've been asked to leave a room
I've been asked to leave better rooms
than this?
I've never been asked to leave a room.
You're not trying hard enough.
Would you believe me if I say I've never been kicked out of a room? Like I said, I'm telling you what I told the college kids a long time about. You gotta be invited into the room to be kicked out. First, and here's something you won't hear from anybody else but folks in advertising. And if you don't, if you're never fired, you ain't done nothing. Try. See, sooner or later you gotta either push folks so far or challenge them that they get so uncomfortable with you, they go, oh, he got to go. Or you gotta be good enough where people go, that person's coming for my job, and he gotta go.
Either way, he
I
got
had a supervisor get me fired. He wrote, I should be working for Derek. Derek should be working for me. And the president of the agency saw that and went, yeah, how good is Derek? And Hal, thinking he was helping me out, goes, he knows more than you. Oh! Yeah! I was like, Hal, you told him what?
came in and it was a big brown box.
Oh, no, it was a flat box. A couple of them flat boxes unfolded. You know what that is. James shook his head over. If you ever see brown boxes, flat boxes outside your office, and you work in corporate America, just go ahead and call your spouse and let them know you ain't got no job.
Tighten your belt, honey.
Put that boy in there, although we come to the end. It's over.
Hey, my best firing was Radio Shack. I got to work at 7:30 in the morning, laid off. They laid off 200.
Yeah, but you're not telling the whole story. See, he has a habit of doing that. The whole story is he delayed his whole file. He knew it was coming. He delayed it for months. Everybody else was gone. He was like the last person sitting in the office when they was like, oh well. We don't have nobody else to cut. I guess we gotta let Derek go.
We had an open, well that was IMC Square. We had an open door policy. Learn to read the policy manual. And it says, as long as you're respectful, you can ask any question. So they stood up in front of 800 of us and told us that they were going to do layoffs. And I said, now are there any questions? And I shot my hand up. I said, now before we lay off people, have you thought about like cutting back on costs? And I started saying some very unpopular things to cut costs, like executive bonuses. We had 2 fish tanks. Get rid of the fish tanks. Get rid of the wine room. I was throwing out all the good stuff. And the guy from HR turned and looked at me, and I said, okay. So after the meeting, he came running up to me. He said, now I have to inform you that they can't lay you off because it would look like retaliation. So for every time they held a meeting to announce layoffs, they go, are there any questions? And I did that for a year and a half before they went. This is how me and Monty Brown, this is how we knew we were getting laid off. They started the meeting, they went, there will be no questions. And me and Monty looked at each other and went, well, we better go pack now. And sure enough,
Drug this out as long
drug it out as long as I could. I ran, what was that movie? Run, the old TV show? You too young for it. Run, Joe, Run. On NBC about the German Shepherd, the military dog.
You right, I'm too
Yeah.
young for it.
I ran as far and as long as I could. My boss just tripped. He was laughing, but he was like, they ain't never gonna get rid of you. Yeah, they are. Wait for it. They'll figure it out. It took like 4 meetings.
We're going to get started in about 4 or 5 minutes, folks. So if you just come into the room, please take a second and scan the QR code. That's how we take our attendance, and we just want the organization to know that we are alive and thriving. If this is your first time with us, please also scan the QR code and become a friend. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm in French with none of these people. Oh, sorry, I said that out loud. Uh-oh.
You said the quiet part out loud.
Loud.
We're not friends, we're family.
Like the Mansons?
Exactly.
Oh.
Terrence Charlie. He said like the Mansons, I said Terrence Charlie. Go do my thing. Charlie.
Hey, looking you good for
Yeah.
Here. Yeah. Hey, you better go grab your cup.
I got some, but see, that's the thing. I'm trying to drink this. By the time I drink this,
But that's gonna stay warm.
this will stay warm. This is a more coffee. I don't know what I mean, you know what? I should do this. I should put it in separate.
Good morning.
That's what I'm talking about.
Boy, Lord, no. Dry. Greek Festival. Greek Festival is gonna be good.
What is it?
This weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta go see the building. Their church is probably the prettiest church building in Colombia. They built, I mean, that thing's really.
Because I knew I was
What is that?
Right there.
Right
Right there.
Oh,
On Main Street.
I didn't know that was Greek. I didn't know that was Greek.
Yeah. During the special, you take a tour and they talk about, they painted the walls with murals and stuff, they are just frescoes. They are really, it's really nice.
She also had a Julie Festival.
Yeah, Julie's on the 20th.
Yes.
It said it was the 20th.
Well, that's the 20th, Saturday 20th. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's it.
Yeah, that's on, what's it called? Skyscraper, that's it. Close down to
Venture X.
Yeah, I was having, they're looking around.
yeah, turn it into like all something.
Venture X.
So the perfect.
We're on the sea there. It's expensive.
What street is it on?
Great way of thinking, great way of moving.
Oh,
So,
I got a couple buildings on there, but see, I wanna see that building further down by the Capitol that has
a lot
the,
of friends.
on top of it, has
We
the
gotta send this one.
metal half circle
What you need.
structure. You rarely see it, half white.
One more minute. If you haven't scanned the QR code, take this time
Any other news, any good?
I don't know, you have to dress racist.
He says that
He
last.
said that and laughed. He's sounding setup.
No, but he's good though. He's I want to go quite some time. The time goes great.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
He likes sci-fi, and adventure type things. Yeah, it's crazy with that there. Absolutely.
Jerry Lane.
What do you call it? Coffin Man.
What you missing now?
Okay, everybody, here we go. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. I'm going to go through a little bit of housekeeping and then we will get on with our first presenter. So a little bit about 1 Million Cups. If again this is your first time attending, the mission of 1 Million Cups is to lower the barrier of access to education, resources, and connection for all types of new, seasoned, and aspiring entrepreneurs throughout the United States. We have a few key pillars. We give presentations, not pitches. We make authentic connections. We're not just here to network. We're radically and intentionally inclusive, and we're run for the community, by the community. And what I mean by that are these are the local businesses every week that help to bring this to you. So we're grateful to the USC Technology Incubator for housing us. We appreciate the coffee from Waffle House, and then all of the business owners below are the ones that bring you the presenters, get the marketing materials out, post things on social media, take the videos, and essentially keep us alive. You don't get anything to being an organizer. If you'd like to help us, we do have other things we can have you do. It is free, it is purely volunteer work, and the reason we do it is because we believe in this community. All we get are pretty much lousy t-shirts, and Bob will model the lousy t-shirt for you. That's it, for all our hard work, a lousy t-shirt. So welcome aboard. Our local program, we have actually been here for more than 10 years. We're held every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. And 1 Million Cups is also a national program. So there are all of the 1 Million Cups programs meeting every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Our next closest chapter is the one in Charleston. If you're ever down there on a Wednesday morning, please go check them out. We have had over 500 entrepreneur presentations, and we also offer educational topics like finance, future frame, networking, and we present local resources. Usually we have one presenter with a 5 to 6 minute presentation, and we follow that with Q&A from the community. We've also had Made It sessions where entrepreneurs who have made a significant amount of money come back in and share their stories with us. We're always free, we're always open to the public, and we do give you free coffee. So take advantage of that, and please bring a friend next week. We are asking for presenters. I am filling the pipeline for October and November. Please remember, it is not a sales pitch. It is not an investor pitch. The people in this room are not your clients. They may know their clients. We are all colleagues, we are all entrepreneurs, and the goal is to have people understand what you do and some of the challenges that you've had in building your business. You're going to be sharing your entrepreneurial story, if you will. We do like companies that are 0 to 5 years old and open to community engagement. All industries are welcome. You don't have to be new. Maybe you've come up with a new idea, you're rebranding, and you want to share that with the group. We like that as well. Or maybe you haven't even established a business yet. You've just got a great idea and you want to run it across the minds of other entrepreneurs. We love that too. You can apply here at this link, or you can come and see me or the gentleman in the back after the meeting. We have 2 Facebook groups. We have one that is considered our national Facebook group, which you'll see that online, 1 Million Cups Columbia. And we have this one here. This is our little closer to home, our family group. So if you're not in on this Facebook group, go ahead and scan the QR code, become a friend here. This is where we want to have all of our engagement. So any resources you might need, want to share, have any questions, comments, this is the place to do it. So if anybody wants to scan that, I'll give a quick pause, and looks like we're already on there. Upcoming presenters. So next week we're going to have Jordan Tiller. He has a company he's created called Handcrafted Heritage, followed October 1st by Holly McEcker. She's going to be presenting her business, Holly Tabron LLC. After that, Miss Lauren reunion called Reunion Hub. And then on the 15th, we're gonna have two presenters, Ryan Jenkins and Takoria Jones. Just because we've had interruptions in the past, take a second and just make sure your phones are either off or in silent mode. We just want to, out of the courtesy to our presenter, let him not have any interruptions. So take a second, if you would, please, to do that. Thank you. All right, a little bit about Al. There was much more to say, but unfortunately I didn't have so much room. So I'm going to let him fill you in on all the gaps, but I'm going to give you just a little brief introduction to Mr. Moseley. So Al was born in the Democratic Republic of Congo and came to the United States with his family at the age of 5, fleeing dictatorship. For more than a decade, they faced homelessness, living in cars and public parks before finding stability when Al was in high school. While at Northern Carolina Central University, he and 2 friends launched a company that they later sold to Google for $750,000. From there, he built a thriving e-commerce store that grew into the Preppy Family, a web design and digital marketing company that earned its first $1 million within a year. Beyond business, Al has devoted himself to philanthropy and advocacy. He supports education in Congo by funding 55 students each year. He's built homes in his village of Gumo after a volcanic eruption and established a community center in Kinshasa. Am I saying this right, Al?
Kinshasa.
Thank you. That shelters Nigerian refugees. His efforts have earned him both the Nigerian Humanitarian Award and the DRC Philanthropy Award, and I have simply scratched the surface. So please help me welcome Al.
I know that.
No problem.
No problem. Yeah.
That's how it works. See, it's supposed to have somebody. That's when you were right.
Go out. You know,
That's what I told Nico. I guess. Start
Hello, people.
Hello.
This is my I guess you call it thing. I presented before, and so this is what happened after a year. So this is my comeback. If that makes sense. Okay. So this is my business, the Preppy Family. As you can see, a year. So this is what the Preppy Family was when I first came. I came in 7 years into business. I was like when I came to 1 million cups, I was 7 years in, and this is what the company looked like. I currently own 3 restaurants, 4 hair salons, a law firm, a business consulting firm, which is the Preppy Family, a farm, a pet store, a real estate agency, a tax company, and I was in 2 community centers, which you've heard in the bio, and I was in the midst of starting a telecom company in India, which made $2.2 million a year. Now you may say, how does one person do all of that? I'm going to show you during this presentation.
All right.
On July 1st, 2025, we celebrated 8 years, of course. And I also passed the company down to a new CEO who used to be my mentee coordinator. Her name is Adrian. As of December 21st, she's Hawaiian. And so pronouncing her name is impossible for me. This is what the Preppy Family does now. Still, 3 restaurants, 4 hair salons, a law firm, business consulting firm, which is the Preppy Family, farm, pet store, real estate, tax company, 2 community centers, a telecom business, and a clothing brand. And again, I'm going to show you how one person does all of that. How did we get here? So the topic of and I found a new topic. The topic of my presentation today is beyond the suggestion box. That's me and my mother, of course. So again, like you heard, I was born in the Democratic Republic of Congo. This is my mother's side of the family here. And there's like maybe a few people missing from that. You should see my father's side of the family. And I was born in this little country here, or city here, called Kinshasa, in the Democratic Republic of Congo. When my family came over here, we were homeless for 11 years. like you heard in the bio, living in parks, trash cans. It gets pretty dark. It gets pretty dark as well. But throughout that time of being homeless, you start to develop discipline. That's where most of the work ethic that I have comes from. Not only from my mom and dad and the rest of my family, but you develop a type of discipline. Like you have to get up every morning and do your job. And if you don't, then the family definitely does suffer. Like it's your job to go find food somewhere, find shelter somewhere, or take care of the elders. Most of them, the older folks, didn't know how to speak English. French and Swahili is our native language, so it's like having to learn English yourself, which is one of the hardest languages, and then turning around and trying to interpret and help them at the same time. So that's where most of the discipline comes from. And my homeless story does get more darker, but I don't want to dim the room here today. So how all of these businesses that you see here is that I dived into, and that's what gives my topic past the suggestion box, is that I took the time to actually get to know my team. I have 30 amazing employees that I don't like to use the word employees, I used to use the word partner, because without them I truly could not be who I am. And so I took the time to actually get to know them and what they wanted to do. So one of my partners, Alola Shaw, I went to Africa for 2 years. I went back home for 2 years because I was going through some spiritual journey. And I'm like maybe 20 employees in. But I met Alola. Alola was a certified chef, like the Cordon Bleu. She got all her license. I mean, she is a professional chef. But she always wanted to open up her own restaurant, but you know, anybody got the money for that. And so I was like, okay, how about this? How about you help me navigate my way throughout Africa and then like handle my business affairs up here, and then boom, let's open up your restaurant. Alright? And so the 50% it means that I've gave 50% for her to open up her restaurant. Listening to what my employees want to be, because I don't want my team working for me forever. I want them to have their own thing sooner or later, because I don't plan on running the Preppy Family forever. Right. Now it's not something I want to sell, but it's definitely something I want to pass down. Two of my other partners, Samantha, Samantha decided I want to go. She called me, was like, she told the team that she's going to France with her boyfriend at the time, which is not her husband. And we was like, okay, cool, nice nice couple vacation. And then a month later, she's like, Al, I bet I'm staying in France. I thought you wanted to go to law school. I'm going to law school up here. I said, okay, cool. And so she goes to law school, all that, passes the bar and all of that, and becomes a lawyer. And then she franchises a part of a law firm, her own thing. And then like a few months later, she's like, Al, I want to buy them out. I was like, okay, or buy out my franchise. And I'm like, okay, cool. And so they offer her, I got to do this when I do ideas. So they offer her 1.8 million without her customers and 9 million with the customers. And I was like, okay, which one you want to do? She was like, Al, I want to take my customers with me. I said, that's 9 million now. She said, Al, can you help me? I said, I got you. So I gave her 13% of 9 million to help buy out and take her people with her. Now, from the 2.2 mil to the 7.5 mil is basically because of the law firm. Like because she's opened up an all-women's law firm in Paris, France. And when like that word got out, like they was knocking down her door before she even got a sign up at the door. Like I went to go see her building, and there's literally a piece of paper on the window that says Pearson and Paris, France, law firm. Like they didn't even give her time to open up the building straight. And so that's where most of the money comes from right now. And then my publicist, she got her law degree in Africa. It was like, hey yo, Samantha, you got a spot? And they went up there and they opened it and they worked together. Again, it goes back to listening and hearing what your employees want to do. My third one here is Lauren Prince, who at the time was I forgot her maiden name. But Lauren was my first ever employee. She was my second in command, because without Lauren, I truly would not have gotten where I am. I opened up an e-commerce store. That's how I got started. But being homeless for 11 years, you don't know anything. You don't know about brands or ads or Adidas or anything like that. So when my friends would say, Al, I want to get this from your store, I don't know what Jordans are. I mean, I know they're shoes, but they kept saying like specific names. And I need somebody who can help me find this stuff, know this stuff, and that's why I got Lauren. Lauren now lives in Dublin, Ireland. She built a farm, and she needed help. I said, I got you, 13%. And now I have a farm in Dublin, Ireland that I've been to 3 times so far. And she had a little baby here. His name is, you can't see it, but his name is Geo Prince, and that's my godson. This might be the. Okay. And so one more. Addison Hazim. I met Addison when I went to DC one time, and Addison was like an inspiring person who wanted to get into like some news and go into like politics and stuff like that. Addison, I need somebody who can keep me updated with all the stuff that's happening in the world. What you trying to do? And she said, cool. So Addison now lives in Alexandria, but Addison also wanted to go back and help her own country. And so that's where the telecom company business comes in at. And so literally all we did was get a building, got a bunch of phones. And so what the telecom company does is like, let's say you're just you by yourself. You got like a lot of these people in India making phone calls on your behalf. We've got that going on right now. And this is her team in India. And then this is her, she had a summer internship. And so that's her there. And then the big guy's taking the picture and all the interns in the back. And so that was her way of giving back to her country. Okay, that's the last one. This one, last one. And the last one, I met Rena and Caleb. They were homeless as well, and they were working at Waffle House. And they walked past me one day, and I smelt it. And you know, you can kind of smell your own. And I was like, And so I chopped it up with them, what they wanted to do and all this stuff in the third. And I was like, how about y'all run my YouTube and affiliate marketing? And I was like, okay, little side hustle until it became a real thing for them. So then they quit Huddle House. It was like, we're gonna work for that. But Caleb had the idea that we want to retire our family. We want to get into this whole generational wealth thing. And I'm like, cool. So we jumped on the bandwagon. I don't know if you guys have heard of jumping jacks, kangaroo jumping jacks. Yeah. I'm not pronouncing. Okay, yeah. But you saw what happened with them. And so they bought up their franchise, and it was like, all right, we're gonna get our own building, we want our own tax company. Can we get your help? I gave them 25%. Let me see. The biggest thing I wanted to get into is that a lot of us, I learned from Jay-Z that a lot of companies kind of go broke trying to stay 100% owner of their business. Maybe get somebody there to help you, somebody that you don't have to pay all the time, and just give them a percentage just for a little while. Maybe sign a contract just for a little while, and then maybe later you can buy them out or something like that. But kind of, you need help somewhere. So maybe look into that instead of maybe paying somebody. You know, I think that's just an idea. That's just what we went about. If one of my teammates ever wanted to buy me out, I'm out.
Go ahead. Is this your last one?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
What's next for the Preppy Family? In 2028, everything's gonna be launched in 2028. In 2028, we've been developing and building friendship with investors for like the past 4 or 5 years. And so we we have a venture capital firm that has $9 million in it that we plan in 2028 to start helping small businesses and people and giving that money out soon. We're planning on starting a trading firm to get people into day trading. That's what my family does, and that's how we got out of homelessness, by day trading, which we still do today. Preppy Family TV, which is basically going to be a channel based around entrepreneurship, so it's going to be like our own little TV station. And a military contract that I'm currently working on that I'll have by the end of the year. Thank you.
There you go. Actually, Bob shot this first.
Oh,
so.
I got the ball. Because somebody deviated from this. So we go, and I want to because I'm going to sort of interview Al because Al doesn't like talking about Al.
I'm bad at it.
So what he did was he reverted back to talking about his people, but not his journey.
Okay.
Why? Explain to folks and they think it's missed. I'm sorry, this is going to be like a little interview for a second. You got 30 employees. How long you had the 30 employees?
My main team for the past 8 years, we've been strong together for 8 years.
How many have you fired?
None, nobody.
In 8 years, he has not fired an employee. How many of those folks have a business?
Probably maybe the few you saw. Not everybody has a business yet, but we're working on it. But maybe like 7 out of them.
What's that? I'm sorry. What is it about? What is it about? Why are you helping them?
Well, starting entrepreneurship, as you guys know, is a very, very lonely road. But I learned from watching a commencement speech by Mark Zuckerberg that it doesn't have to be lonely. Ideas start by themselves, but you form them with other people. at some point, you got to separate yourself for a minute. That's the lonely part, just getting your ish together. Then you can go and have people and bring in the ideas and stuff like that. And so I wanted to create a circle of friends that I can actually bounce ideas off of.
Yeah, that's good. I'm just messing with you now. What success look like to you?
I don't really have a clear answer for that. I'm kind of, being only 31, so I'm still kind of going through it, still trying to figure it out. But for me personally, my goal in life, like on my tombstone, is I want to be like the best website developer in the world. Like that's my main goal for me. The business, we still figuring that out.
You said yesterday, and I'm sorry. We spent 2 hours together yesterday on this, so I'm in a special place right now. But you said something yesterday that you didn't say. Your success was, you didn't know about success because what? You were having fun?
Yeah, having fun. There we go, having fun.
Yesterday you said, and I'm sorry, it looks like I ain't paying attention, but sometimes I do. Al said, the reason he hadn't thought about success was he was having too much fun with the journey. And with the people he was moving along with. And Thad and I really wanted him to focus on the fact that he has built a team, folks. And he knows his team. He doesn't want to call them employees, he wants to call them partners, and I believe he should.
Yeah.
But he knows them enough to know what they want. And that's a huge lesson for this room. I'm just saying, but I'm going to let others ask questions now that we done got the meat out.
Yeah, at one time I owned real estate in 3 different counties just here in South Carolina, Richland, Lexington, and Aiken. It was hard enough, it was enough of a pain, I should say, for me to learn the rules and regulations for 3 different counties. You're going across multiple continents and countries, okay? How long and how do you do it?
It doesn't take long at all. It does take long to kind of get the paperwork together, but the team works together. So if Lola sees a building that's good enough for the company, she reaches out to my HR person, Keisha, and then they work together to get that paperwork straight. Everybody works together. There's no, you got to take that I mindset out, and everybody works together.
Ooh. The other part to it, Bob, is he lets them run them. So he's not running each one of them.
The only thing I do in my company is run numbers. That's all I do. I let them run their own business. They focus on the business. I run numbers. My Excel spreadsheet game is immaculate.
Ooh, all right.
I'm also on the I only do things when they're fun train, so good job on that. What do you think of all of this, as you're building, what part of the process is the most fun for you? Where do you get the most enjoyment?
My company. The Preppy Family only brings in $200,000 a year, but I love building websites is my happy place. So that's what I do. Yes.
I love those numbers, but I also love the concept. And I was just visiting a big brand in Chicago, and I loved the idea when they was talking about partners. I didn't understand what that was, so I love that you build your people that you work with as partners and not so much employees. So I just picked up on that, and I believe words and bringing people in as partners opposed to employees is a new kind of vibe. I love that. So keep up the amazing work, and I love your concept.
Thank you. And then nobody works alone. Like with all these businesses here, some that are in America, Caleb and Renna, who run the tax company, run taxes as well for most of these other businesses as well in South Carolina. So nobody works by themselves. Nobody does anything by themselves. Imagine being able to say, I'm my own biggest client.
Very good.
Any more questions? Anybody else have any questions for Al?
If I can just to summarize, you let them pretty much, you crunch the numbers, and I assume you provide the financing too.
Yes.
Okay? And you let them kind of do their own thing. And the way that's a lot of trust. Okay? The way you keep them accountable is you give them a significant part of the company that they start up. Is that correct?
Yes. Now, mind you, we help you out. Like we make sure your paperwork's straight with the business consulting firm. We make sure the taxes look good. Like you ain't doing it by yourself. With the hair salon, the law firm, we got a company that can make calls on your behalf. If you need uniforms, we got a clothing brand. It all kind of seems like it's running together. With the restaurants, we have a farm. Like everybody works together. So you ain't just starting a business and then be like, you just got to figure it out. You work together.
Where did you learn that?
Wow.
My family. My family structure is kind of funny as well. But
Oh my God.
it kind of you work together. That's what we got because we had to work together to get out of homelessness, and so I kind of brought that into the business as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
My family structure is a whole nother presentation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you attend a lot of masterminds and stuff like that? Or?
I didn't at first. I do now, but when I started entrepreneurship, I didn't know anything about it. Like I majored in my undergrad was child development, master's educational technology. My doctorate I'm working on now is AI. Like so, I didn't know anything about networking events and stuff like that. It was just me in a room crying, trying to make $1.
Don't forget curiosity.
Curiosity, yes. Curiosity is definitely the thing that gets me up every day. I'm just adamant about just finding out what works, what happens. Yes.
That is one of the problems that I was talking about here in Columbia. You know, we be in a lot of rooms, and I've been in so many settings where they talk about funding and money for small business entrepreneurs. And that's what I was mentioning to the young gentleman downstairs. We have to, as a community, come together and support each other's business. That's where the money comes in, and the concept is pretty much what you're saying. When we support each other and pay each other fair prices, not overly priced, our business thrive and grow. But that is one of the things I think that we're missing as a community, as entrepreneurs.
All right, we have Lester in the front, and then this gentleman will be next.
How do you find your partners?
That should be a really funny story. How I started off was I'm in King Street, South Carolina, and I'm starting this business. And so I talked to Warrensburg Technical College. I was like, can I just use the library for a minute? Because it's me and Lauren at the time, and I'm like, all right, I want to start this e-commerce business. I need help. I need to hire people. And so it's like, when I said that, they had like a line of people out the door bringing in resumes. Mind you, I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know how to read a resume. I don't even know what I need. And so all that failed. But almost all my employees have like this really cool story about how I met them. But long story short, spirits.
That's right.
Yeah, you get that spirit that says, hey, this is that person. And right now they told me to stop at 30. And so whenever they say, hey, go again, I got it. Yeah.
Okay. Got you.
Okay, gentleman right down the middle.
And I mean, we see your fantastic journey, and we all love it. What's your why for getting up every morning right now?
Besides the curiosity and getting up is I wanted to be like my brothers. One of my brothers owns a clothing brand in Alaska. And another one is captain of the Air Force, retired lawyer. Now he works in the Pentagon. And so I kind of started off kind of wanting to be like my brothers. Like I wanted to be like them. And I don't know. I guess my why I just want to be like my brothers. Be an asset to the family because everybody works hard.
Yes.
Like this number here means nothing to my brother in Alaska, and my mother means way more than this. So we all work hard.
Okay. Very good.
Excellent. So the capital, because you're investing in all of these businesses, when you're an owner of all of those businesses, is that how you regain capital so that you can invest in more businesses? That's a lot of money you're giving people. I don't know, am I missing?
No,
Okay.
that's a good question.
I'm just curious. Yeah, so when you go back to your slide where the percentages that you own or that you've invested, do you, as they profit, do you get a percentage of their profits? How do you keep refilling your bucket to continue to give people money?
So let's start with the clothing brand. My 15% comes after, I hope I answered the question. My 15% comes after all the bills are paid.
Okay.
And
So
then
it's off of net.
off of net, okay.
Okay.
Birds just helping with the terminology now.
So is that yearly? Are you collecting that?
Yes, I'm collecting that yearly.
Okay, because there's a lot of money being coming and going, and so I just wow. How do you sustain and how do you?
So I'm not making the business makes 7.2 million, and then the money goes back into that. So I make whatever is left after all of the bills are paid.
Okay.
I hope I'm answering you.
That's your gross.
Yes.
Okay. No, okay, good. Because I just like giving the girl, you know, money to open her building in Paris. Like that's a considerable amount. I just got a lease downtown, and I'm hemorrhaging money, and it's just me. Like I couldn't even imagine, you know, for another. So I'm just curious how.
Yeah, we make sure that people, before we give them the building and do business with them, we make sure they got their stuff together first. Like if you want to open a restaurant, I'm not giving it to somebody who's just a cook in the house. Like she had her stuff together first.
So you got to vet.
Vet them well.
That's right. Have your credentials in order.
These are all businesses you have now. Were there any experiences you had that didn't end up on that board?
Yes, I tried to open up a coffee business. That didn't work out too well. I don't remember too many, but I do remember the coffee business that failed. Yeah.
What was that? What was that?
I tried to do it in my, and it's gonna sound like a terrible story. I tried to do it in my hometown, and not too many people know me in Sumter. And so when trying to go door to door, you're in a neighborhood where it's like if they don't know your people or you don't have the gatekeepers, they ain't letting you in. And so most of my business started in other countries, where like my first client that I got in my e-commerce business was from Australia. And I was like, whoa, I'm international now. But yeah, once that happened, and then I started trying to do business in my hometown, it wasn't working. I started paying attention to maybe let me go out the country and see what happens.
Yeah.
And then you learn if you guys open up an e-commerce business, Australia does not have Shopify or AliExpress. So when they buy from you, it's like literally buying from a store. So that's a cool nugget there.
Right. Say that again. Repeat that again.
Australia does not have Shopify or AliExpress. So when they buy from you, they think they're buying from a real store. So that's a cool nugget there.
Gentleman in the back. Yes.
More of a statement. You can back this up. I was very impressed when he wasn't sure what net was.
Yeah.
Because it's like he said, I mean, it's a childlike faith. We all make it too complicated.
Yes.
And that's the thing that really impresses me. You just broke it down to the very basics in the family, which America, some of us, we don't get along great with our families.
That's right.
And your struggle just, very inspiring.
That's right.
Making me rethink a bunch of stuff. So
Keeping it simple.
that's wonderful.
I think there's to piggyback on top of that. I mean, we all have that saying, it takes a village. And it's sad that our village, your hometown, Sumter, Columbia, we can't even get the village here locally to come together, that you had to go globally to find the village. So
There's a scripture for that.
There is.
I mean, a prophet is without honor in his own land.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the hurdles we should be, this room's trying to overcome.
Exactly.
Is the more we're exposed to each other, then we can't say we don't know folks.
Well, I think it's also the fact that it's not that we don't know. People are selfish.
That's right.
That's just what it really boils down to. People are selfish and skeptical, but the proximity that you are to someone, if I can see you every day and you're here and you're no better than me, why would I invest in you? Right? And that's a lot of the people's mindset of like, oh, you're doing that? Oh, okay, well, cool with your little whatever, I'm gonna do my thing. Instead, we go, well, I'll throw you a bone, but I needed like $400. I needed it $200. You drive their prices to the bottom of the barrel because you don't really see value. You think you're doing someone a favor. You're not partnering. You're looking for someone to champion, and so you can say, I did that for that person. That's not doing business with each other. That's a lot of the mentality that is, I used to think it was just Columbia or just Hampton. That's where I'm from. Or no, it's not. It's every small town, every place that you go, they have that same mentality, right? Until something happens where people understand that we can do more together, we be more together. The international community automatically gets that. That's why he was able to go into these other places and they said, oh yeah, that sounds like it's gonna make some money. I wanna be a part of that. Here it's like, no, I want all the money for myself.
So how do we change that? And I like that you brought that up. And as a room, maybe we can open it to discussion. Yeah, I'll let you answer that first. But how do we change it? I know it's a lack mindset. You know, I mean, there's plenty of business for all of us, and I got realtors all the time. Well, I'm gonna, they're so rude to me, even though I'm like, look, there's plenty of business for all of us. But how do you change that mindset, Al, where everybody is so they want to hold on, it's that lack mindset. What do you think we can do?
When it came to my family, when we got over here, we had that mindset, but we had to shake them. I mean, we had to dang near beat it in them. Like, you can't do this by yourself. We can't get out of homelessness by ourselves. And so within my family, I'm gonna dive into it just a little bit. We have one bank account in my family. It's called the Shaw Family LLC, and everybody, 100 plus people, put their money in that one account. We had to beat it out of them to get out of this I mindset. We can't do this by ourselves. And so now the money that we have is like $1 billion in there, but it's like 100 plus people now putting money into it, and it's passed down to like I think we're on our third generation now, if I'm not mistaken. So we had to beat that out of it. That's the same thing I had to do with my team. Like, yo, you don't have to do it by yourself. You don't have to be you don't have to be selfish. I can show you how we can make this work in a circle. I had to beat it in them. Sometimes you just gotta shake them. That's how you put the mindset in them. You gotta shake them. You will have to be rough. You will have to be mean, but you gotta beat it out.
To learn this is I've done. Me and Thad were talking about this yesterday. I've done business with 4 people in this room, and 2 of them I had to force to take more money from me to do their services. And I forced them because they didn't charge me what I would have been charged in Dallas. And that's my mindset. I'm like, but in Dallas I would have had to pay this. So I'm not, because you're in Columbia, South Carolina, and you're providing the exact same service, then baby, take the money. You know? We have to mentally start holding ourselves to a standard. If I come to you and to do business with you, I'm not trying to beat you down on price. Your price is your price. I'll just say it and name her. My family did business with Mira, who does the organizing. I will recommend her till hell freezes over. She did an amazing job, and she was worth every penny we paid her. And she was so surprised when she submitted her bid to me and my brother that both of us went, so when do we pay you? It was no negotiating, no trying to move on the price. I was like, man, this is how walkers roll. My brother's like, pay her. I'm like,
yeah, I think part of that is just so it's twofold, right? Well, you have to understand that bigger business, there will come a point when negotiation is a part of that conversation.
Yeah.
But we are an entrepreneurial startup community. And nobody here is trying to get rich off of one person.
That's right.
You are trying to make enough to keep your coffers full, to keep your business running. So if you are moving with integrity and you're doing your due diligence, your bid is what you know you need to be able to do what you need to do and have some profit on the back end so you can continue moving your business forward. What we do to people is we try to get them to come off of that. You don't need as much. Let's bring it down a little bit more so that we can feel a little more comfortable. And I think that nothing grows out of that space of comfort. We all have to be there's enough uncomfort to go around. We all have to be a little uncomfortable with what we're doing. I'm a filmmaker. I get uncomfortable every single time I make a film. I don't know how much I'm pushing it and redlining it every single time. But that's the nature of the business. And if I did not understand that going into it, right, I would not have expectations that are reasonable for me to actually budget my business correctly, to work with other people correctly. If I didn't understand that there is a risk associated with it, most of us don't want to risk anything when we're trying to do business. And mind you, it's all a mitigated risk. Everything is.
Did you have a comment to what Derek said?
Well, actually, I wanted to go back to this concept of the collective and how many people you have involved in this collective. It must take tremendous trust that other people are going to do the work. And I think part of what we lack, maybe not entrepreneurs or Southerners necessarily, is we don't necessarily trust other people to work as hard as we think they should be working, or as hard as we individually plan to work. And my students struggle with this because they'll be on a team. There's always a freeloader on the team. There's somebody who doesn't show up to the meetings, doesn't do the work, and then the last day they show up to the presentation, they want to get an A like everybody else did. Yeah, and so I think like it naturally, we assume there's going to be freeloaders. How do you have 100 people with the same bank account and not assume that one guy out there is a freeloader?
So within the family structure, so you know the bank has like so we have what we call a concierge who runs the money once you get, so it's the family, the concierge, the elders. And so the concierge talks to the bank. And so there's a certain amount of money that only a person can get as they rise up as of age and learning the process of how family works. The bank has rules that they have to follow. The concierge talks to the bank and be like, hey, this person can't do this, that, the third. So when that person goes to the bank, whoever, so when they pop up their account name, there's rules on it. So so we don't even have to like keep it. The bank keeps it account.
Software.
Yeah. And then, did you
Oh, yeah.
She had her hand and then we have
So, you're an international guy, and you have international businesses. What keeps you in South Carolina?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
You never thought about it before. Now you realize you can be free. Run!
Well, I live in Manning, South Carolina right now. I have a lake house in Manning, South Carolina. And right now, I don't really give that thing up for nothing. Waking up every morning to the water. I don't have any internet at my house. I live with my 4 cousins and a person. And
A girlfriend.
no. I wish. But yeah, right now I just live in a very nice house with my cousins. So I live with my family. Before I started working at Benedict for a while, literally my only places were Sumter, Manning, Florence. There's only 3 places I went. So I don't know too much right now. And I went to school in North Carolina. But definitely plan on getting out soon. Yeah.
the lady up front. You had a question.
I wanted to make a statement. I hear the conversations around like what's missing, what are the problems, but from what I can see, what you've done is really take the I out of the issue and put in the we, and that's wellness. So you've looked at building from a place of wellness as a family and how that looks in your growth process and in your growth planning with your businesses. And I think that's a beautiful concept to instill in your growth pattern, right? That, all of us together is how we're stronger. And if that is the concept on which you're building all these things, and that is the eternal concept of success and generating, long-term, not just right now success, but long-term success. So congratulations.
Definitely, the business is definitely based around long-term.
Back again? Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot today. One of the key things I think that you hit on, but you didn't go in depth on, is accountability, right? And Tara mentioned it with the banking aspect, but there's another, to Casey's point earlier. There's a certain amount of accountability that has to be shared amongst everyone, and it's not about hurting anyone's feelings. I feel like it's more about calling folks to the carpet, to the front, when they are not being and not doing the things that they are supposed to do. I think that is a huge problem in our community, is that when you try to hold someone accountable, you become the villain. If you try to make somebody else accountable for the thing that they said they were going to do, they agreed to come on and be a part of, and they fall short, and you hold them accountable, now you are the person that everybody targets on. To Casey's point about the freeloader, when I have groups and someone's a freeloader, I hold them accountable. You are not getting in it.
That's right.
You can explain to whoever you need to explain to, and I teach as well. So you can explain to whoever you need to explain to. If that group comes to me together and says, hey, Charles did not do his part, we did everything, Charles showed up today, this is the first time we've seen Charles. Charles ain't getting in it, right? Charles getting a conversation about why he needs to repeat this on his own, right? But I think in our businesses, that is part of the same thing that we struggle with as a community. We let stuff slide in this community till it hurts. And then everybody's butthurt about it. But nobody wants to say, you messed up, and you need and make it
Right.
right.
I want to add on to that.
All right, so we got time for Miss Judy and then Miss Bliss.
I think a lot of times too, I think our communication skills, sometimes as way we come off is some things, and I had to learn to master that too. And I think you have also. But I think that sometimes people come off, it's, the old saying is not what you say, it's how you say it. And that's one of the skills I had to work with and have mastered. That you got to know how to communicate, because everybody's grown, and everybody have feelings that really hurt. These are some people a little bit more tougher than others, but I think it's sometimes the way we communicate. So that's a skill set that we all probably need to just look at and see how we're coming off on a person. Because you can't say anything, but it's how you say it.
I just want to point out, mostly in business and doing partnerships, you never see me yell or get mad, angry, or fuss.
That's right.
She does all the fussing and cussing. she will cuss you out for me. I'm chill.
I just, to which point, as a broker, there's a lot of times where I have to just remind people I'm dealing with, I said this last week, just to another agent on the other side. I said, look, don't confuse my warmth for weakness.
Right.
Just because I'm warm and we get things done in a very nice, doesn't mean that I'm going to back down to what my clients need. So there is skill into how you present. So I'm glad you brought that up. Lester, go ahead.
So, as an accountability coach, one of the things I learned about accountability that I think is overlooked tremendously is accountability has to do with you first. The gift of accountability is for you. It's not for other people, because as leaders, you're supposed to lead by example, and people will get really curious when they see how accountable you actually are. And if they don't see that, then they won't be accountable either. So, because one of the quotes that I picked from this book is, if you are not a part of the problem, you are not a part of the solution either. So oftentimes when we think about accountability, we think about holding other people accountable. But really, it's a reflection of where we should be holding ourselves accountable, because when you set boundaries, and the things that we let slip are the things that we let slip within us first. It's not what we things we let people get away with. It's what we let ourselves get away with not doing what we're supposed to do prior, being proactive, making sure that those things are in place in order to. So when you do that and you start to build a team, I would imagine it's like you see your own people, right? Everybody is being accountable, and you're able to connect in the most simplest conversations.
That's right. All right. Oh, Oliver, last question.
One thing you haven't touched on is what is or have been your biggest challenges, and how have you or how are you moving past those?
Okay.
Good question.
Number one would be dating. Sorry. Biggest challenge. No, there we go. Biggest challenge is building this type of business requires a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah.
You miss a lot of birthdays. You miss a lot of family get-togethers. You miss this. You miss that. Trying to keep everything together and still spend time with not my family but my team. And so I try my best to be there. Like, one of my employees that recently turned 50, I was like, Alicia, what do you want to do? 50th birthday. You say it, it's done. And so she was like, I've never been to a game before. I hit the private jet. We flew to California that day and took her to a Lakers game. Like, I just tried my best to be there and show up for the special moments. That's that type of sacrifice. Building this kind of company, that's the biggest challenge. Yeah.
All right, final question.
Official last question?
Yeah, official. How about James? James, you want to give the official last question?
Not really, but I will. What can the Media Cup do for you?
Continue to tell your story, because hearing your story, like I said, I need to be around people, because you don't meet too many people my age doing what I'm doing, because I gave up a lot. Even my last 2 years of my college career, undergrad, it was literally just business. No more parties, no more kickbacks. I literally just focused on business. And I didn't meet a lot of people who were like me, in entrepreneurship, because again, I wasn't majoring in business. And so continue to tell your story, because I feel cool in the back being around people like me. And please follow me on social media.
Thank you. That is it for today. Thank you, everybody, for joining us next week as well. well, bring a friend, and come back often.
Hey, great job, man. I'll hit the right after. How y'all doing? Right. You know, so I started on big production company. I wanted to I'm not sure what happened in the
I was trying to do business. Transition versus completion. Yeah, you know, I do it. It wasn't the greatest. I always say when I made it for myself, what number makes you smile? And I still have my health above water. I laugh when you say it's a whole lot. I reflect back. I see you now. You got mentors. You got social media. I didn't have the to look at. I just had her dad, 3 other partners. So we just go on things. Kind of like the world before it's done. He was in that movie. He's in every soap opera, the New York show. He died in every movie. Yeah, he talked about that. But it was so funny because I've invested in knowledge and he told us how the vaccine ultimately end up allowing me to movies no more. Because we know yeah, I'm comfortable with that. I'm like, okay, you guys don't know what I know. I'm a whole crew. To this day, a lot of people want to do even hanging out some spot business. And I'm 61, so you really but I love your story that you just shared on the service community. Because we're the ones with the America. We broke it down. Not looted. So he's not just pointing fingers. We just came up with a solution. But that's the story. on the idea that's about we met. I'm trying to be captivated and change something that's people never said here. I'm glad you should be young, naive, people that scared. You just go through like I met somebody else that's friends. Oh yeah, by the way, she's $100 million. You feel good about it.
Here's the thing.
We talk about the bank,
Do what you love. But you gotta do what you love. And procrastination is the assassination of procrastination. So every time you put it out, guess what? You're going to have to prolong delaying, cancel it.
All of them do. But see, nobody tell. They tell me talk about. They don't tell. Right? I'm mad at you all the time on my business. Remember when we just visited and we tell me students, oh yeah, right.
Because I hear what you say. So when they don't align, one of them lies. Right. Typically, it's what you say.
When I was naive, honestly, I was thinking like you. It's still good. Starting to look at life until you go out the world. Let me go do something else, but we gotta meet up sometime. I started staying together. All the greatness. Are you hiring? So you guys got to hire somebody. You got to hire old dudes to tell the story. Yeah, that's right. That's 30. That's what I'm saying. So we're not making on their own business, so we just got to start business. Every Saturday. Okay. 10 a.m. Saturday. Yes. 7 a.m. 10 p.m. Okay. You guys send like an email?
Yep. Okay. Send one out.
Send me on out? So that's the part I'm actually at in my business. So my question, I'm going to give you wins and not he said our operations. So the operations part that's mature. So finding actually going out. The NBA coming out there. You can't talk about it enough. A lot of people in you talk about that versus and you didn't even find out where you fit, which you did great. Just like today, what you said. You know enough out there. I've been developing something the same. I'm working on my business. Charging people, but it's a bank. I've been charging them back on it. They don't use us thinking that we're going to a bank with their maturity. What you can pay for, and then you use our system rather than trying to think up front. You don't have the money yet because you don't have the skills. But I still want to teach you the skills. I still need to get paid. Right. Exactly. And that was the main goal. It was trying to figure out if my I had no money. Nobody wants to and if you can't figure that out, you get wrapped up in the mentality. You're supposed to go into another country and somewhere. So forget it. Forget it. So die. That's a faster way to build, right? Okay. Is it a way that's making why to be one of the youngest? That's what right? Yeah. I just hang out with you guys.